Hello everyone, this is vlog 40. Come on, Peps. This is vlog 40, as I said. Sorry, I was distracted by my cat. Today I'm going to talk about wheelchairs and, for me specifically, power chairs. Now, I'm not speaking on the manual chair portion because I use a power chair, not a manual. Therefore, I can't speak on some of the specifics that are different than the power chair to the manual. So, I've had my power chair for a year and almost 3 months. Now, I've gotten some pretty interesting questions and remarks. One time, at the Hamilton downtown YMCA, there was a you go through the employees' locker room and down an elevator to the pool deck, and then for me, because I'm not paralyzed, I can get out without and get into the pool and back out of the pool and into my chair without having to be put in a chair thing, and lowered into the pool and brought back up. Anyhow, there was a lady with her daughter there, and the little girl had to have been maybe about 6, 7, 8, not too old. I think 8 probably is a little bit too old. But this little girl looked at me, looked at her mom, and then looked back at me and asked me where there was room for me to bring my chair into the pool. I had to try so hard not to laugh. But I said to her, the chair helps me for my legs, but I can't take it in the pool because it's it's electric, and it won't work if it goes in the pool, and it'll electrocute me, and it could electrocute you and everybody in the pool. And she goes, "Oh." I said that they're not made to go in water. They're not boats. They're just for on land. And she goes, "Oh, okay, thank you." And her mom gave me the thumbs up. And I was like, okay. Another time, I was in a Walmart parking lot, the Upper James Walmart, and this this 5 or 6 year old little boy was with his father, and they parked near a handicap parking spot that had the wheelchair blue and yellow wheelchair symbol picture on the ground. And the little boy proceeded to tug on his father's arm and ask why I wasn't parking in the accessible parking, which awesome. And then leaving my chair in my parking space and going in. I had to tell him without cracking up. I said, "Excuse me, but the chair, it helps me because my legs don't work properly. That's why I have to use it. It's something that I actually am allowed to take in." "Oh, I thought that's what those parking spots were for." So I further kept biting my tongue, so to speak, so that I didn't laugh, because I didn't want to embarrass the poor kid. And I said, "Well, have you ever seen the vehicles that have those long ramp things that come out or lifts that come out for people in wheelchairs and that, to lift them up, and so they can get into the vehicle or on the buses?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "That's the type of vehicle that's allowed to go here, or people that have a special sign because they either travel with those, or there's people that have walkers or canes, or that they have a special pass, they can park in those spots." "Oh, okay." And his father smiled at me and said, "Thank you very much." And I said, no problem. And then I went in and I went into the bathroom and just cracked up. I couldn't help it. I had to laugh. That was just hilarious. Those were two of the times that I didn't mind the question. I just answered. And oh, there was a third time. I was in Montreal and I went into Pizza Hut for the lunch buffet. And I was leaving and I had my walker, not my wheelchair though. And so it's not necessarily a wheelchair story, but it's a walker one, but still on the topic of children and interesting. But this little girl was maybe 2 or 3, and she was in her mother's arms. Forgive me, my glasses keep sliding. But she was in her mother's arms, and she pointed at my walker over her mom's shoulder while her mother was paying and said, "What's that?" And I said to her, I turned around and I said, "It's a walker. It helps me stand up and walk. It helps me because my legs don't work very good." "Oh, okay." And her mom said thank you, turned around and thanked me. And then I went out, left, and went about my way, and they left and went about their business. But back to the wheelchair and the issues and non-issues that I've had. There has been a lot of positive, but there's also been negative. I've had people tell me that I shouldn't be on this, I'm not allowed on the sidewalk. I have to ride on the road because I'm a vehicle. I'm not a vehicle. You're not a vehicle when you're in a wheelchair. You're allowed on the sidewalk. You just have to be careful that you don't run over the pedestrians because you can go faster and you're heavier. And if you bump into someone, the wheelchair is going to hurt them more than if a person bumped into a person that wasn't using a chair. I mean, it's obvious. I've also had people that will zigzag in front of you. Like if they're over here, I'll go around them over to this side and they'll move so they'll have to slow down and I can't. So then I'll go like this to try and go around and they'll so I can't. So then I just kind of pull back and go slow. Or I've even said excuse me. And I've had people say to me, even without saying excuse me, but people have said to me that pedestrians have the right of way. I'm like, I'm a pedestrian too. Or I was ahead of I was ahead, let me go first. And I'm like, the I actually broke down and said to one person one time, I said, excuse me, but I'm in a chair. I can go and be in front of you and out of your way and before like whereas you're going to be walking in my way for quite a while. And I got some smart aleck remark and it frustrated me. But then there's been there's been times too where I've went and passed people after saying excuse me and I had room and other people weren't paying attention that someone was coming by, and then both of the individuals have yelled at me because they thought that I was being ridiculous. So now, if there's a way that I can go down the curb at the driveways, I will, and then I'll go on the road past someone and then back up the next one so that I can pass them without actually being too close so I don't get yelled at. But there's been other or in the in stores, I'll be sitting there and going to go by and they'll expect me to let them by or wait forever and not move to the side. Or I now understand why people have said and why I was told a lot growing up that you shouldn't leave your shopping cart in the middle of the aisle or other such spaces because people can't get around. And now I'm understanding it more because my chair is too wide to go by a cart in the middle. And then I've moved carts slightly myself and had people yell at me for moving their carts. And I've said, look, like, they shouldn't leave a person their cart when they turn away, anyhow. But I have said, look, I'm not taking your cart. I'm just moving it to the side so that I can go by. Really, you should have your cart to the side so that other people can go by and it's not barricading the aisle. I've had literally one person facing this way and one person facing this way, and they're standing on this side, they're standing on this side, conveniently in the middle of the aisle, blocking it both ways. And I've been told to wait till they're done their conversation. And it's like, no, if you're gonna have a conversation and you're gonna be standing side by side like that, put one cart behind and make sure, yeah, put the carts on both on one side or that, but make sure you're not in the middle with no room on the sides. Make sure there's room for people to come in between. And that's so that people can get by. It's not fair. But then there's a lot of people that are very helpful, because those were all the cons, but there's a lot of pros too. I've had, staying in the stores for now, I've had individuals ask me if I need help and reach up to things that are harder to reach or lower things and get me items, like, or in the coolers. It's awkward for me in my chair to open a cooler and get what I want. So I'll ask someone that's in the aisle. I'll say, "Can I have one of those, for instance, one of those pepperoni pizzas, or for $2.97," so that I'm very specific, so they know what I want. Or can I have two of those dollar strawberry yogurts? That makes it a lot easier. Or I'll be looking, and I'll literally have people come and say, "Can I help you, sir?" Which is amazing. Then especially when it snowed, because I live in Hamilton, Ontario, and in Ontario, Canada, most places you get snow. And so usually within the first 24 to 48 hours after snow, I won't go out. At least not with my chair. Because within an hour or two, my chair battery is pretty much dead from trying to fight through the snow. So after that, I'll go when it's cleared up more, because then my chair's not fighting and I'm not getting stuck. But I've gotten stuck, or people will leave a tiny amount that maybe someone walking could get through, but not if you're using a chair or a walker. It would be even harder on people that are using manual chairs. Yeah. And so I've gotten stuck, and I literally, one time, this gentleman pulled his car around the corner. I didn't notice until he came up. And he had, well, until he went back, he helped me get unstuck and asked me if I needed help the rest of the way home. I said, "No, I'm just down the road." And then he went and got in his car and pulled back and turned to go up Upper Paradise. And I was like, wow. He stopped his car, got into a safe place, got out, assisted me, then got back in his car and went where to do whatever he was going to do. Homework, whatever he was doing. That was awesome. I've had lots of people offer their assistance. And the positive too is that my legs and back aren't getting so sore. I'm not having all those falls. I'm not getting dizzy and not being able to go very far. So there's a lot of pros, mostly pros, but there are the cons. People need to be educated on the proper etiquette of someone that's using a wheelchair, as well as someone that uses a wheelchair that is not paralyzed, like me, for instance. If there's no one around to ask to help, because I can stand up, Unlike some individuals that are paralyzed from the waist down or however paralyzed they are, that cannot stand up, I will stand up and to get an item, and I've been told because I can stand, because I can walk a little bit, that I shouldn't be using my wheelchair. And I said, you can't see what's going on with me. You're not my doctors. You're not me. You don't feel or go through my days. I don't diagnose you and say what you do and don't need. Please do not do it to me. I hate how people judge or put you in a box that if you need a wheelchair, you're automatically paralyzed. There are many individuals, yes, that use wheelchairs that, yes, they are paralyzed and can't walk or get out of their chair, period. Then there are individuals that have a little bit of mobility and can stand some assisted or that. Then there are others that have a bit more mobility. There's others that they can stand like me, but they can't stand for long, or if they stand, they're at high risk of falling. So think before you speak, and remember, pay attention. I know it's a fast-paced world nowadays, but if you're walking, yeah, it's normal that people when they walk they zigzag a lot. But if you're walking and you hear the horn, a weird horn-like sound, or excuse me, or that, or just look behind you once in a while, stop and look. And if you see someone with a wheelchair, say okay and move to the side. I've had lots of people actually move to the side for me, and that was awesome. So, yeah, if you the more respect you give everyone, the more they'll respect. We don't, those of us that are using wheelchairs, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want to hit you. We really don't. We just want to get from point A to B just like you and go about our day. We just happen to have to use a wheelchair instead of our legs. So, yeah, be mindful and be courteous. Do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. What if it was your child, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister that was using a chair and they had that issue? Wouldn't you want them to be safe as well? Treat someone that's in a wheelchair like you would treat someone you loved or if you would want to be treated if you were in one. And just be nice, be kind. You want your life to yourself to be treated, and you never know. I never thought for so many years. I'm now 39. Since February 10th. I've been for just over a week. I've been 39. I never dreamed when I was in my 20s even that I would need to use a wheelchair. But I do. And I respect people that use them a lot more now. And be understanding. Some people, like my illness, the reasons that I need to use a wheelchair are invisible. It's not in my head. I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. Don't judge. Don't even need to ask what's wrong with a person. If you can help, ask if they need help. If not, say, okay, I'll let you go by. And then go about your day. Just be aware, be alert. Adults, children, elderly, people of all ages and sizes use wheelchairs. Some use manual ones that they have to use their hands to control. Then there's ones that use the power chairs like me. So be alert, be aware, and be respectful. So I'll do another video on different things about wheelchairs in the future. But this is blog 40. I'm talking about wheelchairs. My experiences with wheelchairs. Power wheelchairs. Peace out. Much love from me, Pepsi, Chloe, wherever she is, Cinnamon, and S'mores, and eventually a service dog. Much love. Peace out. Bye bye.